Hi guys. It's been a day. I was Zooming this morning with a group of painters in North Carolina. They were an awesome bunch. We painted a new design called Sweet Tea and Honey, and the pattern for that will be up later today. It's a really fun piece to paint. And we had a little bit of a slow start, and it was early, so we were all a little punchy, but we got the piece finished about 15-20 minutes ago. So then we had to reset all the cameras so that we could be on here. So I apologize for being a little bit late. We have a fun piece planned for today. It is part of that the French floral series, the Magnolia, and we're also going to talk about a couple of other new designs that I'm playing with because, you know, my mind was busy this week.
She's
So,
echoing.
I'm echoing?
Give me a second.
Why, now we got both mics working.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Uh,
She means.
there we go. Anywho, so we've got this Magnolia to paint today. It's a fun one. It's not a difficult paint, so we're going to relax and enjoy doing this process. I have mine already prepped. I know a lot of you have already seen this background, so it's nothing new to you. But we do have some new subscribers and some new members, and I thought it would be fun just to go over it one more time because it's an easy one, but it's fun, and we think of new things as we go. So if you guys are ready to get started, so am I.
Give me a second.
Renee's still farting around with cameras, so.
Not so much the cameras.
Sound?
Yeah, wondering why you're echoing.
Hmm.
I gotta see what it means by echoing first.
Are we get the down shot yet? There we go. Yay. You can tell I've been painting. I've got paint everywhere. So we're working on Magnolia today. I like this piece. This is a fun one. So we're working on Magnolia today. I like this piece.
Oh, okay.
So this is it here. This one is very simple, very basic. We're going to be using some asphaltum to tone. We're going to use some warm white as the base, and we're going to use a color called Berry Cobbler for all of that shading. I really like this purpley pink tone. It's a really great one for florals, and it has a really nice, I don't know, there's something really lush about it. So we're going to do that. The leaves are base coated with antique green, and we're going to use matcha green and plantation pine for the shading and the highlighting. And for the background, again, really, really simple, but lots of fun. So we're going to start with building that background, and we're going to do that with my favorite stamp. I love the grunge set. I have my grunge set. I think it's my favorite all-time stamp, and that grunge set has this great little signature piece and this wonderful little scroll, and then it also has some crackle, and it has this great little piece which looks like part of ledger, and then it has this cancellation stamp. I really like this particular set, and then I like to supplement that with this stamp. This is the vintage note. This are probably the two stamp sets that I use the most. I just love how they look. They work well with my design ideas. You can always incorporate something else too. If you're not into the whole cancellation stamp, throw in a butterfly. Find a nice little butterfly stamp, something that you really like, and use that. You could use other words, use some of your lettering stamps to create larger words, maybe repeat the word Magnolia somewhere. There's all kinds of things that you can do to create a really fun background, and this just happens to be one of my favorite. So we're going to use those stamps. We're going to use my favorite little brayer. This is my little mini brayer. Palette paper, and we're going to use warm white for this. So just move my stamp set out of the way, and we'll grab some warm white. I'm in a great painting mood today. I really want to sit and paint. Been looking forward to it. So I'm rolling out some white paint on my palette so that I get a nice even coat on my brayer. I'm going to start with this crackle one because I like this. I just like the texture of it, I think. And I'm going to roll a little white paint onto it. And I'm going to pop that into the background like so.
And of course, give me a second.
Sound went.
No. I decided to zoom in all of a sudden.
Oh,
I think it's.
okay.
There we go.
So I'm going to take that little scrolly stencil. I really like this one, this stamp. I like the architectural feel of it. It's pretty and it's lacy and it's fun. So I'm going to lay this one across the top like so. You don't really have to worry about getting this really perfect. I think it works better if they're not. I like how that sort of, that vintagey feel, that distressed appearance, it just works. So I'm just going to fill in the background with some of these stamps. Just lay them wherever. I'm not really overly concerned. I don't even really care if they're upright. In this case, I'm putting this one on upside down because I just like how it looks. And then I've got this vintage note stamp, which this is the one I use for filler because it's writing, but it's not really, legible. It just creates some nice pattern. And you can use a portion of it. You don't have to use the whole thing. So I'm going to go down here.
I don't know. I don't know why it's echoing for you, Linda. I don't know.
So I like this kind of broken up a little bit. Let's pull another. Oh, let's do this one again. I like this one. Only let's do this one upside right again. There we go. So I've got text, I've got pattern everywhere. I think I'm going to use a little bit of this. And pop that in. Just a little bit here and there, just to fill in any really big open spaces. And then I'm going to use this cancellation stamp because I'm kind of obsessed with these. Kind of. So there's something about round shapes. I don't know.
She logged in twice.
Oh. Okay. That sounds like something I do.
Yep.
So
yes, it does.
So there, I've got my stamps in place. I'm going to dry this real quick. And then I'm going to show you something. I said something and got myself thinking about something else, and now I have to try it to see how it's going to look. Because this is just how my brain works some days. Or not.
Camera.
Yeah, that was my interesting start for the day today.
Wasn't quite awake. Not firing on all cylinders.
No, you know what? The elevator did not go to the top floor this morning. I turned on Zoom to teach my Zoom class and couldn't figure out for the life of me how come the image was upside down. I had mounted the camera into the holder upside down. So, yeah, but it took two of us to figure that one out. So, yeah.
No, it took me to figure that out.
Yep. Yes, that's true. It did take you. I was like, why is this upside down? How come I can't get this to go right? So I'm going to choose the word Magnolia. M-A-G. Where's the G? Mag.
I just got my tomato juice can. Nice.
Ooh, somebody made homemade tomato juice. Nol. You need an L. That's a J. That's an F. That's an I. Am I missing an L? No, there it is. Lights are on. Hello. I, and then there's an A. Okay, so I have all the letters to make Magnolia. I'm going to roll out that paint again so I get a nice even coat of white paint on my palette. And where am I going to put this? Oh, I think I'm going to go up this way. So M, A, G, N, O,
That one's upside down.
L, O. It is upside down, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Is it upside down?
It is upside down. But that's okay. I and then A.
I thought it was an O.
Nope. There we
O-
go.
The O? Is
It's-
upside down?
No, the N is upside down. Still reads right, but it's upside down.
No.
Yeah. Lights are on.
I was saying it for the O just to make you.
Yeah, no, the O is not upside down, but the N is. But that's okay. So I just stamped that in. I wanted to see how that would work. And I kind of like it. So
I thought it was starting at 2 p.m.
it was supposed to. I just ran a little bit late today. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when you schedule classes and
On a Saturday.
on a Saturday. That's all right. I had fun. The girls in North Carolina, they were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them.
You want to show them what they painted?
They had, yeah, because that pattern is launching today.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's the one that wasn't releasing until after we did this class.
Ah, yes.
There's two of them there. Just choose the darker one. Yeah. So this is the piece I taught this morning. This is Sweet Tea and Honey. And this was such a fun class. I enjoyed myself. And it went really well. Just, you know, it's not a good idea to have two classes back to back. So it's okay. I didn't want to, I mean, it's a Zoom class. I made sure that we covered everything and that the piece was finished. And they are a great bunch. It was very entertaining. They asked great questions. I love questions. And they did. And it was so nice to see Liz Miller. Hadn't seen Liz in a while, so it was really nice to see her.
You got all your stamps in there?
I got all my stamps back in their little hidey hole. I need to put some tape on it because it keeps popping open and then I lose the little stamps.
I think the sneak peek for
The sneak peek
pattern
is
that's
dead.
coming up is gone now.
Yeah, that pattern will be up later this afternoon. But yeah, it was a fun class and I enjoyed it. Designed it for that group and I got lots of great feedback from them. So it's so much easier to design when somebody tells you what they want. Lets you know what they want. It makes life so easy. So I'm going to clear off this palette and that paint is dry. So then we're ready to do that next step.
I think everyone's saying you're on earlier, but no,
No.
they're starting at 2.
I was supposed to start at 2 and I was running a bit late. It is later than we normally do. Normally we're at 1 o'clock, but this weekend because of the class, I had scheduled today for
2.
2 o'clock. I keep losing my postage stencil. 19 minutes, 29. I keep losing the stencil. I don't know why.
That's because you use it the most.
Probably.
You probably wore one out. And
Probably. So we're going to, the next step for this, we are going to use the stencil, and we're going to use some nice metallic for this. But first we have to subdue this, all this bright white on the black. And I'm going to do that with a little bit of asphaltum.
Of course.
And I'm going to get my brush nice and wet. I want to thin out this asphaltum a little bit. I want it nice and soupy. And we're going to apply a wash of that asphaltum right over the white.
Andrea George, you can use hand sanitizer.
Oh, to clean the stencil? Yes. And your stamps. Yep.
Stamps.
Little hand sanitizer to clean your stamps. So I'm just putting a wash, I'm just sort of slapping it over top of all of this white. That little bit of asphaltum subdues that white quite a bit. I don't want to bury it completely, but wanted to subdue it a little. My phone is chirping, sorry. So little asphaltum over top of everything. Does two things. It subdues that white, takes some of that brightness out of it, but it also warms up that black so that it's not quite so harsh. And so we get this nice earthy antique or aged look. So there we go. And we're going to...
Facebook said 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. I thought it said 2 p.m. Oh, maybe I did put Eastern. Sorry.
Did we go live earlier than we were supposed to?
Mm-hmm. No. Even if it was 2 p.m. Eastern, we still would have been...
We'd be going live at 3 o'clock.
Oh, right. Jeez. Please.
Brain, not working.
Yeah, no. Sorry, guys. My brain is just fried this week. So there we have...
I'm going to find your post to see what you typed.
Probably Eastern. So there I have my asphaltum over top of it. If you find that the white is still too bright, go ahead and put another, yeah, it was Eastern. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
You put Eastern.
I had too many time zones on my brain today.
What time was it in North Carolina? What time was it here? What time was it there?
So I'm finding this was just still a tad too bright. So I'm going to put just another weak float of this stuff over top, just to subdue it a little bit.
It's not even one here yet.
Oh, so that must be Central.
It's Linda. Linda's in
Central or
Louisiana, isn't she?
No, Central. Yeah, but it's Central Time. Oh, I got the cutest thing in the mail this week. Do you see that green envelope on my desk over there?
Yes. You got some more fan mail.
I got a sweet little note. It was so cute. Missy.
Oh, it's a cute little card.
It was a lovely little card. It was so sweet. This arrived in the mail today. The postage mark on it was Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And it says, savor the joy of breathing and smelling the fresh air. And there's a wonderful little note in here from Mary, Linda's mom. So, Mary, thank you so much for the card. I really appreciate it. It was such a nice thing to find in the mail. And you don't see it very often anymore that people send little notes and messages. And yes, our family is all well and very healthy. And God bless you as well. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate that. But it was so sweet.
You avoid showing the address.
Yeah. It was very sweet. And I loved it. It was so nice to get a little thingy in the mail. So, okay, now I'm happier. This is subdued enough to suit me.
Is it?
It is, look. And I like the magnolia in there. It's a bit, it's subtle, but it repeats the overall design theme, which I kind of like. So we're going to stencil this. I'm watching his wheels turn now.
Yeah, I think you should have done Magnolia in um, the gold there
In the gold.
and the extreme sheen.
Oh, that would have been fun too. Or, ooh, gold leaf. Ooh.
Yeah, you could have done it in gold leaf too.
Yeah, that would have been fun. So I'm going to use a little bit of 24 karat gold. You can use either the extreme sheen or the one I'm using is
This computer's going to implode.
the one I'm using is the one in the fluid acrylics, the metallic gold. And I'm using that postage stencil because it's my favorite.
There we go.
I love this stencil. I'm going to take it off the page a little bit because I kind of like that, that it's not complete. And I'm going to pick up a little gold.
Good.
And I'm going to stencil right over top of that. And I think my brush was too wet.
Happy notes in the mail. It's just not the same. Email is just not the same.
No, it isn't. It was just really sweet to receive that the other day. And I'm going to put the other one, which is that cancellation thing, over here. I like that little flash of metallic over top of all of that that aged black. Just gives you a nice little bit of contrast and adds a little more visual texture to the piece.
What is our giveaway?
Our giveaways this week is from DecoArt and from Southern Ridge Trading. So there's some really nice chipboard pieces from Southern Ridge and a couple of stencils from DecoArt. We have 3 of them to give away this week, so we need to pull 3 names.
There's only 50 in here, so your chances.
So your chances are even better. It's all good.
Don't tell people we're live yet. It behooves you to not tell people. Now tell everybody you know that we're live. Let them all know. Even if you're just yelling it in your house, say, "Hey, Tracy's live!" I am running on severe fumes.
Haven't had enough coffee yet?
I haven't had enough sleep.
Yeah. Your TN kept you awake most of the night.
TN kept me awake.
So I love this background. It's just so flexible. I posted a new pattern this week using that same background. And did the Bird of Paradise. I love this one. I think it's really rocking. It's very sexy. All those bright colors.
Is that why they call it a bird of paradise?
Because it looks like a bird?
Because it looks like...
Yeah, it's a bird of paradise.
Yeah, okay. But it's a flower.
It's a flower. Yeah.
Okay, it's funky.
I just think and I like it on that background. So even the more contemporary flowers look good on this type of background. So it's very versatile and fun. And I played with
Rescue Auntie, watching from Hawaii.
woo!
Rescue
Welcome.
Auntie's got a picture of a puppers in her
She's got a picture of a puppers in her.
her icon there.
Huh.
I wonder if Rescue Auntie actually rescues puppers. I like her already. I like them.
So I base coated all my petals with warm white. And then I leave that gap. I mean, if you guys have been watching what I do for a while, so you know that I like to leave that little gap in between things. And then I'll go over it with a little bit of white just to make the shading part a little easier.
Isn't that where we find the Bird of Paradise is in Hawaii?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So I've got the white, just warm white.
She fosters for a rescue.
What type of rescue? What does she foster? Puppers?
Yeah.
Furballs?
Oh,
floofs.
Floofs. Floof loaf.
Floof loaf.
A loaf of floof.
A loaf. So I'm using, to shade this, I'm using a little bit of this color, which is Berry Cobbler. Yeah, I like this sort of purpley magenta tone. It's really great. It's as close to the quinacridone magenta as I can get in the Americanas, and I love that tone. I think it works really, really well for this type of floral. So I'm going to pick up a small quantity of that Berry Cobbler. Now I thin it out quite heavily. I use a fair amount of water in it so that I have some control over that color. I don't want it full strength because it is a very strong color. And I'm going to shade my Magnolia with this Berry Cobbler down into those lower sections of the flower. It's down into the throat of the flower. And we're not going to get all this shading done in one go. You're going to do this in stages because we want to build up that color.
So it's Aloha Dog Rescue.
Aw,
And she fosters puppers.
puppers. We're big puppers fans in this household.
Yes. Even though there's only one puppers here.
There's only one puppers here, but she's pretty special puppers.
Yeah, very special. I kind of like her.
Renee's been shopping for her new wheelchair,
Yeah.
so she will have new wheels before too long, and maybe even skis.
Oh, she's getting the skis. She is getting the skis. Wait, this is a dog that can spend all day in -40.
I know. She's gonna love
And
it.
she'll never whine once. And she'll roll in the snow until she gets frostbite. And
Yeah.
she's gotten frostbite a few times.
Yep, she does love the snow.
But summertime, for some reason, she's like, no, I'm
No,
not.
she's a loaf in the summertime.
She's a loaf.
Yeah.
She is meant for winter.
Yeah, she does love the snow.
Oh, what do we got here? Truly enjoying your painting session today. I love the background. So, who is your cameraman? He is awesome.
My cameraman is my son.
Hi.
And yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Nah,
He's
I'm the best thing since cookies.
really.
Alright, yeah. You're just inflating my ego. Stop it.
And they believe me. He's a Moreau. He doesn't need any help in that department.
I can't say I really have an ego.
No, that's true. You're pretty laid back.
I'll flaunt it for a second, but that's about it.
Yeah, but usually that's just a flirt. That's not much of an ego, but he'll flirt like the Dickens.
Yep.
And he's shameless, I will tell you now.
You must be new here. Laura Jeffrey.
A
Okay.
new victim? Is that what you're thinking?
Yep.
Okay.
Victim?
That's what I refer. I'm teaching classes at convention. I refer to them as victims.
Where's getting victims?
Yeah. I don't know.
You really gotta watch who you say that to, because sometimes somebody will be like, excuse me?
So I'm just using that Berry Cobbler to establish those deeper areas in this flower, and those, those shading areas, the turnovers.
Whoever gets in front of the camera. Renee is awesome cameraman and funny. Okay.
You should have been around for a family game night last night.
I don't think we can talk about that.
Suffice it to say, the Moreau clan was in rare form. It was
We were talking about the foop.
the foop. Yes, don't. We had a great deal of fun, and it was funny. So once you've got that first float in, that first set of shading. It's not neat and tidy. It's not even perfect. You can see it's fairly loose. So once you've got that in, go and let it dry. I'm going to come over here and put a little bit in.
Make sure you make the blood.
First day with your new tongue?
Hit the like button so you can be entered to win some of the goodies from Decor Art and Southern Ridge Trading. Southern Ridge Trading.
Yeah.
Dyslexia is a thing.
Dyslexia. So I like that sort of that pink base.
We might have to bring the camera down. That is tiny.
Yeah, lower it if then.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's gonna go
Haywire, yeah.
all wonky on me. I got it just so. The second I move it, it's gonna decide, I don't feel like buying anymore.
Yep. So once you have that first shading in, it's going to look pretty loose, pretty sloppy, but you're going to do it again, and it's going to get a little deeper and a little softer. You'll notice it right off the bat. Those darker values are going to settle down into the throat of that flower. The lighter values are going to sort of drift off. Don't worry too much if you get borders or lines, because we're going to do something to take care of that too.
Is there a color we can use in place of berry cobbler?
If you don't have berry cobbler, try using, hang on, razzleberry.
Appleberry.
Razzleberry. It's a deep pink.
To your right. Up.
There?
Yeah.
That's Royal Fusion.
No?
No.
Too much?
Too pink. Razzleberry will do the job quite effectively.
Just waiting for somebody to go, what if you don't have razzleberry? Use a...
Any nice deep dark pink. You could even make your own pink. Use a little bit of alizarin crimson and, you know. Nope, petal pink is too light.
What's going on?
That's just my phone. So I've got my shading in, and then I'm just going to go back over and deepen some of these shadows with a float of that same razzleberry. All of those little shaded areas are just getting a deepening with a second coat.
Gail
Woolsey. Hi, Gail.
from London.
Yes, ma'am. London, Ontario. Pretty little city.
I don't see Bob.
He has his own little place now.
He's got... Finally finished sitting in the hot sun watching a soccer game. Happy to be back in the AC.
I can understand that.
Oops, super on. Will Decor Art start doing media line again?
Yes, it is coming back. It's just taking a little time to get back into the supply chain and into the production schedule. But yes, you will be able to get them soon.
And Rescue Auntie, I really appreciate what you do. That's awesome. Up into puppers.
Okay, so I've got all my shading in place. Now I want to deepen that again, only this time I'm going to do it with a little bit of asphaltum. So I'm loading up my brush with a little asphaltum. I'm thinning it out. I gotta get this color nice and transparent, because if I'm not careful, it'll bury things very easily. So I'm going to float a little of that thinned asphaltum right over top of all of that berry cobbler that I just put in there. I use asphaltum this way for a lot of things, not just in flowers. I use it as a toning color, so I use it a great deal for just this purpose. It deepens colors, it tones them, It softens things, it cleans up borders and shading lines. And it gives things a nice warm tone. If I used burnt umber, it would have it sometimes has a tendency to look a little bit dirty. So I prefer the asphaltum. I just like the depth that it gives and the warmth that it gives. Pardon me. So I'm going to take that asphaltum and I'm going to deepen all of my shading. Wherever I put that berry cobbler is getting a float of asphaltum. So underneath all of those turnovers, over top of the center vein, where it separates those leaves. I just love how this keeps everything nice and warm. I just realized I missed a spot. I'm going to come back and pick up a little bit of that. There's a vein, a center vein on this flower that I just neglected to put in altogether.
Boy, I got the time wrong. Been waiting till 11 a.m. to come on. No, that was our fault.
Yeah.
She
No, it
put-
was my fault, not our fault. It was my fault.
She put on the post 2 p.m. Eastern
Yeah,
and told me it was 2.
2 o'clock Atlantic, which just kind of messed up the schedule. So I apologize, guys. That was on me. I love. So again, I am just floating over all of that berry cobbler with some thinned asphaltum. Not looking for perfection. I'm just looking to tone that pink.
It's 2 o'clock somewhere.
Bar open.
What time did you start? Well, we started at 2. 2:20 actually.
Yeah.
But she posted 2 p.m. Eastern, so
Yeah.
everybody thought, oh, 3 was.
Like I said, it's entirely my fault.
It's all good.
So I've got all of my shading in place. It's now I got to clean that up. And I'll show you what I mean. If you look closely at this, these are all really rough floats. Some of the asphaltum bleeds out over top of the white. Same with the pink. There's no real sharp, clean lines anywhere, and we want to clean that up a little bit. And I'm going to do that with some warm white. Now, I load up a fair amount on my brush, and I'm going to blend it out. I'm not thinning it out too much because I want the color to be fairly strong. And I come out to the edge. So where that rough edge is, I go over that with that warm white. So it is loaded to float, but the color at the tip of the brush is more opaque than the color at the heel of the brush. And so it gives us a much cleaner line. So you're able to, tidy up a few things. And I'm going to do the same thing over here at the edge of this palette. So it goes over top of that asphaltum. It goes over top of the edges, and then we end up with a much cleaner line. So if you've got little spots that are perhaps not as pretty as you would like, this is your chance to clean them up. And then down the back side of that shading line, right there, to clean it up.
Jessica Killoran says, laundry's done.
Yes, the laundry is done.
It's 8 a.m. here. Oh yeah, Hawaii.
Hawaii. Wow, early. So wherever that white is on this petal, I'm taking that white out to the edge, and I let it sort of travel over top of that, those areas where the other colors got onto it. So it gives it a nice soft look, and the colors look less harsh. And it's just a float of color, and look at how soft that petal now looks. So I just continue around this and clean up all of those little areas. It makes things nice and pretty. Gives us nice lines. Mutes a few colors where they need to be muted a little.
No, you guys didn't get the time wrong.
Nope, I did.
It's all good. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. It's one of those days where I confused myself. You know, nobody had to help me. I'm good.
As I age, it's easier to do.
Oh yeah. Well, wait till you reach my age. You can do it without even trying.
I want to confuse myself.
Oops.
I wish I had a flower this beautiful in my garden.
So do I.
I hear they're hard to grow.
They don't grow. I was talking to the group I was painting with this morning. They grow like a weed in North Carolina, but they have a very moderate climate.
Yeah.
We've been here 13 years. They have a neighbor down the street has this immense magnolia tree on his property. And in 13 years, this year was the first time I've ever seen it bloom. Because we don't usually have the climate for it to do what it's supposed to do, but it's absolutely gorgeous.
If that's the worst that you ever do, you're doing fine.
Yeah. It's one thing to be late. It's another thing to be, an hour early.
Jump the gun again.
Yeah, kind of jumped the gun. I'm sorry. I set the time, and then I completely,
2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock.
It's 2 o'clock. And to make matters worse, is I was worrying about being late. So, hello. Some days, that dog won't hunt.
Oh yeah, we get some more people from Hawaii here. Yay.
Well, I have some wonderful painting friends in Hawaii.
Well, that's right too. You did a class.
I did a class with them, and they're amazing.
And pattern was called Birds of Paradise.
Birds of Paradise. It was so much fun. And I took part of that original pattern and blew it up, made a few changes to the flower to do this one. And I love this on this background. I just think it looks amazing.
Had to add more to your never-ending series of.
Yeah, but let's call it the never-ending series, because it seems to be, as fast as I get one done, I go, ooh, I could do this. And I got 2 pieces done on my new series with the teacups and the flowers.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I like them. I really like them.
You got 2 of them done?
2 of them done. I got sweet tea and wild rose tea are done.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And I really like those. The sweet tea one I think is really cute. This one is fun. These are super easy to do. But I just thought these would be fun. They would make pretty little.
What's with you in pink?
I don't know.
I'm seeing a lot more pink showing
I'm
up
suddenly
in your
showing
artwork.
for somebody who didn't care for pink. I've been painting a lot of pink lately. So, and then did this one, the Wild Rose Tea. I love these. I just think they're fun.
What happened to Bob? Bob's right there.
Bob's right here. He's hiding there. So I just cleaned up the edges of these flowers with a little float of that white. Cleaned up, some of those shadings, whatnot. Just softens them and makes the flower look a little nicer.
Oh, Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday night, 7 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Where'd the month go? So
I
yeah.
don't know. I start work on one day, and then when I'm done work, it's the next day.
Renee's been working nights at the gallery, so he's been a little out of commission for the last little bit.
I go to work on a Tuesday, come back on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It throws you right off.
So I'm just taking a minute to take a little bit of thinned warm white, and this is where I clean up and get all of those nice little sharp edges. So all of these little turnovers, if there's any rough lines, any rough borders where it doesn't look so clean, this is where I clean that up so that we have a nice flip over in the petal.
Are you still teaching a Zoom class with the Sweet Pea pattern with the painting group?
I am. California group, September 12th, I think.
Yeah. And will we be doing another Christmas design with the group or with the members?
Yes. I have a Santa Claus planned.
Dun dun dun.
Because I don't sleep anymore, so I got to do something. So yeah, I'm planning another Christmas piece. We have the angels, but we'll also be doing a Santa Claus with the membership. And for this group, for our live classes, I've got a couple of Christmas pieces planned as well. So coming into fall, right now I'm trying to get the sunflower thing out of my system. I'm kind of obsessed with sunflowers. Not in a bad way, but.
So we're doing the angels on
Tuesday. We are painting the angels,
yeah.
or angel, I should say. We're doing one of them.
And that's
for the group.
Atlantic.
Yes, 7. No, I think it's 7 Eastern.
Oh yes, it's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock our time. Yeah.
Right. 7 Eastern.
Yeah.
My bad. That would have thrown everybody off the loop.
Including me. And we know how hard that was today.
So those of you with a little paintbrush next to your name, sure you join us on Tuesday.
Yep.
Paint some angels. Great. Classic style angels.
Yep, that iconography style.
Iconography.
It's actually, we're painting them in the Byzantine style, so I think they're going to be quite fun. A couple of people have...
Byzantine, that would be like 14th, 15th century?
No. Try again. 11th.
11th? Oh, wow.
The Byzantine era was the last Caesar of Rome. Give you an idea. It was one of the last Caesars of Rome, emperor of Rome, I should say. And he was considered one of the first Christian emperors of Rome. So there we are. I've got the petals are coming together quite nicely. I'm pleased with that. So we have to start talking about these leaves and the stem. Now I base coated mine out with antique green, and that little branch there is a mixture of antique green and a little bit of asphaltum, just because I wanted it slightly darker than the leaves. But we're going to shade these leaves with plantation pine.
Oh, succeeded by the Ottoman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And it was 1453.
1453.
Was the last year.
The end of it.
Yeah.
Well, the Byzantine was old.
Yeah, new old.
So these leaves are going to get floated with a little bit of antique green, or plantation pine, sorry. They're base coated with antique green. So I'm going to separate those and then shade down the center vein. I want a fairly strong float down there. And see,
Y'all teasing us with the time thing.
Oh, it's called torture. I try to.
It's kind of like waterboarding.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to do that no more.
When organizing my Zoom classes, trying to figure, because we get time zones from all over the place, I have come to the conclusion that I have to write them down in my own time. And that was part of the problem with today, is I wrote my time on the post or on my calendar, and then promptly typed it as Eastern Standard Time when it should have been the other way around. But it's all good. We're here, you're here. We're getting some painting done. We're going to give away some prizes. Life is good. So I've got my center vein on my leaves, and then I'm going to put a shadow at the base of these leaves too. Right down here. I like finishing the leaves this way, simply because I find it gives them a nice curvature. Instead of just being a flat leaf, it implies that this has some curvature this way, not just that way. So I like the implication.
Was he Constantine? No,
Constantine
was way before that.
Yeah. So the highlight color on this is going to be the matcha green. I'm kind of obsessed with that green. And I'm going to thin it out quite a bit because it's a very opaque green. It has a high level of white in it. And I don't want these highlights to be too
How'd that? That good?
Did we get sound again?
It's probably quiet because it's probably this one.
Hello.
Ta-da!
Hopefully that worked. So I'm just using a weak float of that matcha green to put my highlights in.
That sounds like a puppers.
That sounds like a puppers. Is Dad in the garage?
I think so.
Dot does not use her wheelchair in the house. And so we have to listen for her because she will be on the move. And there are many flights of stairs in this house, so she has a tendency to just throw herself down them. So we would rather she not get hurt further. So we have to make sure she gets down those stairs with a little bit of assistance as opposed to by her own steam, because she will just go. They're not long stairs, but they're still stairs. And because she doesn't have any sensation in her hindquarters, she could hurt herself, potentially hurt herself. So we have to keep an eye on her. So that highlight is coming along quite nicely. It's building up nice. Now I'm going to pull that same color down here onto that stem. And it is weak. I'm not using a ton of it. And I'm not looking for, the absolute perfect float. I just want to create a little bit of light on there. And the same with the stem. I'm going to pull a little of that lighter color down here. And then I'm going to shade underneath that petal with a little bit of that plantation pine. I want that green nice and dark under there. Now this little centerpiece in here, I have a technique for doing that so that you get that texture. I love that texture, that sort of fluffy look. I'm going to use some marigold for that in there. I like this color. And I'm going to use a chisel blend to do this because I want to create a little texture. So I'm going to start with a little of that marigold, and I'm going to load it as if to float, but I'm going to put a fair amount of paint in the brush. And I'm going to start with just a tap and pull method. I want to create layers in here. So I'm starting with that yellow, and it's just a tap and pull so that it creates a little visual texture in there, like so. And I kind of want this to look a little bit fluffy. So I'm going to, that's the first coat. So I'm going to dry it real quick. I don't know, hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to double load my brush. This time I'm going to pick up a little asphaltum on the heel and a little bit of that marigold on the tip. So I have both colors. And I'm going to do that same tap and pull. So now I've got a little of that brown showing up in there. And then I'm going to clean my brush, pick up a little of that marigold on the heel and a little warm white on the tip. I'm going to blend those two together, and this is going to be our highlight. So I'm going to tap and pull like so. And that creates our little center. So it creates a little texture, gives us a little shadow with that tiny bit of asphaltum, and then that little bit of white in there gives us a highlight and creates a little more texture. And so I'm going to dry that. You're quiet. Mm-hmm. He's very quiet today. Poor puppers.
Yeah.
I was telling them about her throwing herself down those stairs if there's not somebody there to.
Yeah. You can usually tell when you hear thud, 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 thud.
Yeah, then she's on the move. Somebody's got to go check on her.
She just wanted to go with Dad in the garage. She had enough of being on the couch.
Okay. It was time to go visit.
Yeah.
So now that I have that center done, I'm going to float in here again with a little asphaltum just to separate this petal. So now we have a nice dark float in there, and deepen the throat of these flowers with another float of that asphaltum.
What size was that brush that you were using for the center?
It's a 3/8 angle. Using that small angular brush. So this is where I'm going to deepen all of that shading. And this is where all of these petals are going to suddenly take on more shape, because we're going to build some contrast.
She's like a toddler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good description.
Yeah, she's like a toddler.
She just had a birthday this week.
Yep.
She turned 5 on Wednesday.
5.
I'm this many.
This man. No, she doesn't even have 5 fingers. She doesn't have a thumb. It'd be trouble if she had a thumb.
Yeah. So that deepening of those shadows with that asphaltum, it cleans up a few things, and it creates a little more depth in the center of that flower, and it defines the shape of some of these petals too. So
Sorry.
a little bit of asphaltum in there. There. Magnolia is just such a gorgeous flower. And the few times that I've seen them when I was in the southern part of the U.S., the one thing that always got me was just the petals are thick and velvety. Like, the texture is just incredible. And then those beautiful leaves. So I'm just going to add that final shading in there. And then we're going to punch up those highlights just a little. I want to clean up a few things. I'm going to grab some titanium white because I want a really bright highlight for this. So I've got titanium white here. And this will be the brightest highlight I can give to these flowers. So I'm using a little titanium white as if to float. And I'm going to just float the highlight edge of these petals just a little. Clean up a few little rough spots as I go. And it's going to give us a nice contrast and a nice sharp line. So there we go. Doesn't hurt to give that highlight side a little punch.
I'm gonna click it.
Oh, he's spinning the wheel, ladies. Karen Wilson is one of our winners today. So Karen, make sure you go to the website and click on the little message speech bubble down in the lower right hand corner there and send us a message with your shipping information, and we will get your goodies out to you.
Karen Wilson.
There. I like it. So that little bit of titanium white brightens all those highlight points. And again, that little wash of white, it subdues things, cleans up a bunch of shading lines, whatnot. Make sure that you've got nice bright highlights. So there we go. So next, we're going to finish off these leaves, and then we'll talk about that lettering. Where did my liner brush go? There it is.
Oh, where'd it go?
I got it. I got it. So I'm just going to use my 10-aught magic liner. I like this liner brush a lot.
The white magnolias make beautiful Christmas decorations. My husband always makes arrangements with them for the inside and outside.
Oh, they would make beautiful Christmas decorations. There's just something elegant about magnolias. So on the outside edge of these leaves, I love just this sort of indistinct line to highlight. It's just a loose line of, I'm using matcha green for this. I highlight leaves a lot this way.
One of our local radio stations has a wheel of meat.
A wheel of meat?
They spin. They say it with a very deep, serious tone. The wheel of meat. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I can see that. So now we're ready for the lettering to go on here. And I'm going to center my lettering. I have to get my line drawing back. Ta-da!
Hello from CT, Connecticut?
Connecticut.
Yeah.
So I've got my line drawing back in place. I'm going to grab some white graphite for this. Shiny side down.
I'm late because some rude people came for a visit.
She had company. And I'm grabbing my red uniball for this. I love this thing. That red uniball for tracing. That way I can always see where I've been. So I'm just going to trace my lettering on real quick.
We have magnolias here in Vancouver Island.
Yeah, again, they've got the more temperate climate,
Temperate
right?
climate.
It's a little too cold here in the wintertime for them. So for some reason, the tree grows, but they just never bloom. Or if they do bloom, they don't bloom much. But the gentleman down the street here this spring, his was absolutely magnificent. There's no other word for it. It was just covered in blossoms. And I've noticed the same thing with my hydrangeas. When we have a really cold, snapping winter, we do not get a lot of blossoms. But we've had two fairly mild winters in a row. And holy hockey pucks Batman, I have got, not only are they huge blossoms, but I've got lots of them. My hydrangeas have just been insanely beautiful this year.
Starting to think I should hang a quarantine sign on the door at Tracy time.
So I've got my lettering traced on. I'm going to use a 0 rigger to do this lettering because it is quite small and quite delicate. And I'm going to use a little bit of thinned warm white for this.
You seem to be infected every weekend.
So I'm digging out my 0 rigger and some warm white and a little bit of Joe Sonia fast dry glaze. My pal Deb sent me a bottle. It was like getting perfume for Christmas. Oh, it's just great. So just thinning that out so that paint moves really, really nicely. Now, a rigger is built like a flat brush. Although it looks like a liner, it isn't. It has a chisel edge, so I can press down, open it up, and then bring it back up onto the chisel edge.
All my hydrangeas were served up for deer dinner.
Oh no.
Oddly enough, we don't get too many deer around here.
We do, but they spend all their time down at the soccer pitch eating the mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't see too many of them in town, in the village
You
here.
don't get big deer in New Brunswick.
No, not really.
No. You get a lot of whitetail, right?
Yep. We get big moose.
You get big moose, yeah. That
But
was
we
a
don't
word I
get-
was going to use, but
We get very big moose. So again, just to paint this lettering, press down on that rigger, let it open up till it fills the space, and then release the pressure so that it comes back up on the chisel edge. So get those fine lines, and then you can get those nice wide lines as well. So press down, open it up, come up onto the chisel edge, press down, open it up. So that paints that lettering in really nicely. With a little practice, you can do this like it's a pencil.
do you think the neighbors would get mad if I started bringing home Bambi's to skin?
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't share the meat.
I'd be glad to share the meat. I would have no problem. Well, mind you, would that be considered baiting if I left the guts out in the wild?
Yes.
Is that considered baiting?
I don't know. They have a process that you have to follow. I'm not sure.
I'd have to look into it. Are they funny mushrooms?
Yeah, some of them actually are a little on the funny side.
Yeah, here, yeah, they do grow wild here.
Which can explain some of the population.
Yeah. I had 4 deer with my car. I've killed 4 deer with my car.
Well, it's funny. Dad had one run into him.
4 deer have killed my car.
Dad had one run into him one morning taking me to the airport.
Oh, yeah.
And then he hit one. It literally ran right in. He had no chance stopping. And it was a very young one. So you know how your dad is. So he was very upset.
My hydrangeas bloomed once and have never bloomed again.
Now,
You get lots of green leaves, no blooms for the last 6 years.
you know what? I have had one hydrangea probably 5 years, and it just bloomed for the first time again last year. And that was the first time in about 5 or 6 years. And I discovered what it was. I had pruned it at the wrong time.
Ah.
And I discovered that if you do that, they don't bloom for quite some time. Just saying.
Check the acidity of your soil.
That's the other thing. I threw a handful of pennies into my flower beds a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And this year I have blue hydrangeas everywhere. And they're full of blooms. They're just loaded.
Hard to get pennies now.
Oh, I've got tons of pennies. Tons and tons of pennies. There we go.
They bloom on old wood.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too, is that I throw wood mulch in there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, for about 5 years, I pruned it at the wrong time, and they didn't bloom for about 5 years, and then last year I got one measly little bloom, and this year it's loaded. So, and I left it alone. I didn't prune it last year. So there is my lettering. I got my Magnolia in. So I'm going to dry this real quick, then we're going to talk about my eraser. I have an eraser here somewhere, unless it went walkabout. Nope, there it is. So this is the eraser that I use. I use it on everything, but it's particularly good. And I just realized I missed something. I did. I forgot to dot the I. So the reason I use this particular eraser is because one, it doesn't smear the graphite, and two, it also doesn't damage the paint, which is a big deal. So I can remove graphite from, particularly on black backgrounds, without smearing the graphite, without damaging the paint that I've just put down there, but it also does not polish the background. And the winner of the second package is Lori Shearsman.
Shearsman.
It's a good German name, that one. Shearsman. Of course, Tracy had a brain fart. See, I just dotted the I and then promptly smeared it all over my surface because it wasn't dry.
Of course.
So I can scrub that off. And let's do this again.
What's this?
Dot.
We have a very prolific herd of deer across the street from us. It's on the NASA complex, so there's no hunting allowed. They're probably the best fed deer in the USA. Yep.
So, Lori Shearsman, go to the front page on my website, click on the little speech bubble in the lower right-hand corner, and send us a message with your shipping information so that we can send your little package of goodies out to you. So, I've got my lettering done. Now, I want to pop this thing forward. I really want to see this flower come forward a bit. So I need to lift it off of that background just a little. Oh, good Lord.
Is that right?
I'm just glooping paint everywhere today.
Yeah, it's on your sleeve too.
Oh, so it is. Oh, that was there.
You just added some more.
I added some more paint to my sleeve. Good thing I use this shirt for painting. I'm just trying to get some paint off of my table here.
I'm jealous of all of you guys with deer and moose and we have skunks and jackrabbits. We're told we have a raccoon, bobcats, and never saw any of them either.
We've had lynx out here. We've had black bear quite a bit this summer.
Yeah. Saw a family of raccoons earlier.
And a family of raccoons. We had those in the backyard for a while.
Mm-hmm. A marmot.
And a marmot.
Yeah.
And
martins.
And our martins, I love those guys. They're so cute. So I'm taking just a little bit of lamp black and I'm going to float into these deep corners around this magnolia. And the reason I want to pop this forward, lift it off that surface just a little bit. So I'm just going to use a little float of the lamp black to do that. And I want it really dark in these deep areas closer towards the center of the flower. So I can let it sort of trail out everywhere else. But I want it nice and dark in here. And this is going to help lift that flower off the surface. And it's going to give us a really nice contrast. Having that darker value up next to all of that bright white and those pinks, it gives you great contrast, and so it doesn't look like it's just stuck on the surface. It has some depth to it. So it's the most important place to put that shading is in these deeper V's of the floral. You don't need to go everywhere, but definitely in those little V's so that you have a nice contrast.
I was about to say, I don't want to hurt deer. To hunt deer.
Doesn't want to hurt them.
Don't want to hurt them. I want to make it as painless as possible for them.
So there we go. Now you could spatter this if you wanted to. I kind of like these florals done without any spatter. I just find they look nice and clean. This is such a pretty and more romantic type image. I'm telling you, batting 1,000 today. I just realized I forgot to put the stencil on this one.
After you dug it out, too.
Well, I put it on the demo piece. I didn't put it on this one. Hello. Lights are on. Nobody's home. Honest to God.
What is this?
I'm going to.
Do we have coyotes out there?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. And they bug the crap out of the neighborhood dogs.
Yeah.
They're actually quite dangerous out here.
Yeah.
Unlike the prairies where they see a human, they run away.
Yeah. No, they're pretty aggressive out here sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to take a minute and put my postage design on here because I neglected to do it before I started painting the floral. I put it on the demo piece, but not on my actual finished piece. Pretty, pretty, pretty.
Deers love vineyards. Don't like them.
And I'm going to use this little design element here, just the round part, the Montmartre, in there. There we go. I like that.
We also have a herd of longhorns.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So let's dry this. I'm going to grab my favorite gold pen. I've got these great little gold pens from Deco Color. I love these ultra fine or extra fine. And I want to
I would sympathize for her. Nothing worse than a raccoon jumping out at you.
and they're pretty sketchy, those little fellas. So I'm just going to use my gold pen to put my signature on this piece. And did you pick our third winner?
It's spinning.
Spinning now. Ta-da! Kay Reynolds.
Kay Reynolds.
So we've got 3 winners. Kay Reynolds and Lori. Is it Lori Shearman?
Scheisman?
Or she sells it.
Okay.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Hello?
Hello.
There we go.
Okay. You switch the camera. Can we?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you want that shot of me. It's a little too close.
There we go.
This is probably going crazy now, is it? So we've got a stencil sale going on the website right now on the M Squared. That is going until tomorrow at midnight. So if you need any M Square stencils, if you're looking for something, the coupon code is stencil sale, all one word. So take advantage of that. There is a free pattern up on the website. We taught this one last week, which is a fun little autumn leaves piece. That one is up on the website. That one is free. You can go and download that one. You just throw it into your cart. You don't need to purchase anything else. You can just get that one.
I don't think they heard us announce that JL Brewer just won.
Oh, yeah, the winner of this one was JL Brewer.
Yeah, she won the Magnolia.
So JL, make sure that we get your shipping information. The new patterns that were up on the site. Bird of Paradise, the welcome with the little bird and the sunflowers, and the sunflower welcome, those are all up on the website. The new one, where did it go? The sweet tea and honey will be up.
Behind you. Or, oh, no.
No, you have it.
It's over here.
So sweet tea and honey will be up on the website later today. I really like this piece. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to paint. And what else? Oh yes, group members. This is the piece that we're painting on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Atlantic Standard, which is our time. We're doing the angel, but we are going to be talking about and touching on all of the others as well. So there's tons of information in that class. So get your surfaces prepped, and I can't wait to see you guys on Tuesday night. What else? Next Saturday. What are we doing next Saturday?
Where are you going next Saturday?
I don't know. I'm thinking we paint a teacup next Saturday. Okay.
You want to do a teacup next Saturday?
I'd really like to do this one.
I want to see what they say.
What do you think, guys? You want to do wild rose tea next Saturday? This is a fun piece. It's super easy to do.
You can't see that.
Oh, right. Hello. Wrong camera. And he's the one that's short of sleep. So this is for next Saturday. The series will be available on the website tomorrow. We'll have this pattern up for you tomorrow. So you'll be able to do that. So it'll be fun. It's a super easy one. It'll be fun. It'll be relaxed. And we're going to show you some fun little techniques. One of the things that I did with this that I really, really liked was I matched the polka dots from the teacup to the butterfly and just changed up the colors. And it was just fun. I enjoyed doing it. So
I think it's just on a 6x6, right?
Nope, it's on an 8x8.
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 You could probably do it on a 6x6.
It'd be a little tight.
Maybe a little tight.
Yeah. It would go there, but it would be tight. But yes, 8x8. I really like that size canvas. It works really well. So that's a new series that I've been working on, is those teacups. So I've got one with the sweet peas. Again, sweet peas. And then we're going to do the wild rose tea. Wild roses grow in profusion here on the East Coast. So it's a common flower here, and we love them. I love them.
Same with Alberta. It's their provincial.
Yeah, Alberta's provincial flower, wild rose. So what else? What else? Oh, new pattern for the membership group goes up on September 1st.
There you go.
No sneak peeks this time.
No sneak peeks. It's going to be fun.
It is. It's going to be fun. You're going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it. It's
It's not always about you guys.
it's all about me. Just saying. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for joining us every Saturday again. I am so sorry about the little goof up with the time.
We'll try.
We will fix that in future. I am so sorry. So if we kept any of you waiting, I apologize. In the meantime, we got lots of fun stuff coming up. Not just this following Saturday, but well into September. We've got stuff planned. So look forward to that. And as always, appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything. Joining us every weekend. We do really appreciate it.
We need a peek.
We need a peek. No peek today because it isn't quite finished. So
You'll
see it
the
soon.
original yet.
The original's not finished. So
JL Brewer, make sure you give us your information.
yes,
You won this.
JL, you won the finished piece from today. Okay, guys, that's it for us this weekend. Thanks so much, as always, for joining us. If you are not a member, go to the website, check out our paid membership group. We've got lots of fun things going on with that. And join us here free every Saturday. Yay! We'll love it. All right, guys, stay safe. We'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.